Welcome everyone to the Dannphan channel. Yes, I am still alive, and I'm here with Spelledeg. What's up, pal?
Yay!
You
Tired.
having a good life?
Yes, although my cat has abandoned me. I'm not talking enough. She'll be back later.
Right. She'll be back to sleep on your head or something.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. She tried to suffocate me last night. I woke up with like cat just across my face. Which, like, it's not the worst way to go. I can think of worse ways to die. So yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, suffocated by a cat, not that bad. Not that bad.
Like on the scales of ways to die. But yeah, I've been slowly inking away at chapter 5 and trying to get my brain in choreography mode to finish sketching through chapter 6.
Right.
I
I should give everyone an update on the emergency. So, I don't have all the files from my hard drive back yet. He said he was 98% done the last time we checked back with him, but he is taking longer than he previously said to recover everything from the hard drive. My MacBook is in pieces, and I'm thinking instead of trying to put it back together again, we'll just go laptop shopping. But yeah, it's just one of those things.
Respects. You said that computer was like 12 years old, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a 2010 MacBook.
Ancient.
To be fair, I bought it used in like 2015.
Mega ancient. Wow. Shoot, I had it was a MacBook ripoff prior to the gaming laptop that I use now, and it still works. It's actually my husband's computer now, and he loves it because all he does is browse the web and stuff, and it works just fine. Like, the thing won't die. So it's like 8 years old now.
Oh wow, that's perfect. I mean, mine was working fine up until it just decided to commit suicide.
No.
It's like it wasn't even like slow or anything. It was good. It was as good as the day I first got it. It's weird.
That's awesome. I know.
that was a good 8 or so years of service.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I wish that electronics were made to last. Like, maybe it's my fault for getting a $60 phone, but like I sneezed at it and dropped it 6 inches onto concrete, and the screen just like cracked in like 3 different places.
Man, I got one of those like free phones from the Cricket store, and every time it annoys me, I just throw it across the room. Hasn't broke yet.
That's amazing. This is like one of those track phone, like cheapy phones, and I'm like, this is fine. My last one was like pretty durable. Like, it fell onto tile, nothing happened to it. It fell onto this, it fell onto that. The problem was the battery was only 3 hours long, and so I had to get a new one, and they'd gone up like 2 versions since.
Yeah, I do get a temper sometimes. I'll say that much. And I have tried to break this phone. It never worked.
Maybe
so
it's related
to good.
Maybe it's related to an Nokia. It might be. Maybe it's cousins.
There's some kind of magic protecting it, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But yeah, hopefully all the computer stuff gets figured out. It feels like it's been forever since I've done any comic work, and that just feels horrible.
Yeah, it does. Like, everything feels alien, and then you have to, like, when you start up again, you gotta scrape the rust off for like 2 days, and then you can start like really drawing again.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so rusty. I've been trying to work on like some original art pieces, like some more sketch cards, just to like keep up the habit, but you know, it also feels demoralizing because I can't do the actual work I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. That makes it very difficult. I was going to say, like, if you need some traditional sketch stuff, like, I will mail stuff to you. I've got a room full of, like, extra stuff because I teach classes occasionally.
Well, if you wanted to sell any of your stuff, I could always put them on the website for you.
Ooh, nice. Maybe it would get out of my house.
All right. So in other news, everyone, figure out how to do this. Yes, now hiring volume 1.
Yay!
On Indiegogo. Woo! I did manage to do a launch stream despite my laptop exploding.
I saw it the next day.
Yeah, but Spelledeg wasn't there, so it didn't count. So this is the launch stream now.
Yay! I love a day. What day is it? What is today? I love a 14th of the month launch stream. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
This month is really surreal. It's I keep checking the Indiegogo page like every day and then like sending like updates to my husband and like all of my immediate friends. It's like, go scream about my book. Go tell your friends to buy my book. Do you have a nephew who likes anime? Go for it.
Right. Word of mouth is all how small businesses get started.
Oh yeah. It's like all my Facebook pages been lately.
I mean, that's the thing. That's what they say, is to like post about it every single day, because somebody might miss your post one day, but then see it the next day.
Yeah, I've been really surprised the amount of DMs that I've gotten asking about like international shipping. Like I have a friend in the Hong Kong area and then like a few others in like Eastern Europe, and they're like, "Hey, do you ship here?" And I'm like, "I don't think so. At least not for the Indiegogo. I know that for sure."
Yeah, shipping internationally is crazy. Mostly because just like the price to ship things varies so dramatically from country to country. Like one country it'll be $40, and one country it'll be $10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's outrageous. I know, like when I had done a couple of test prints for like a shorter, like one-shot thing that I'd done, and I mailed it up to a couple of friends in Canada. It was like $25 in shipping just to get it up there. And the thing only weighed like 6 ounces.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, ouch. But hey, you could hold my book, so it's okay.
Yeah, that is brutal. The good thing about United States shipping also is media mail.
Ooh, I've never used media mail. I usually use the flat rate envelope. They are expensive, but I like being able to give my customers like a tracking number and stuff like that. But they're expensive, and it makes me cry. So.
Yeah, right. Awful stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, would you like to give your sales pitch to the chat? Your official
sales
pitch is now hiring.
What is my official pitch for now hiring? Hold on, let me
check your documents.
Sweating, screaming, and sweating at the same time.
Hey, we're all casual here. No worries.
You know you are never too late for the stream. You with the katakana name there. I see you. I can't pronounce it, but I see it's katakana. Shoot. Yeah. So if you like 1980s and you like drama and you like anime angst and found family, this is the story for you. It's even better if you don't actually like the 1980s, because I kind of ignore it. Let me get a better pitch. Hold on. I have a thing written up in my about. I was like, what? So what the hell is this comic anyway? Now Hiring is a 1980s crime thriller set in an alternate world where aliens made human contact in antiquity. It explores the pitfalls of the American dream through the eyes of its alien protagonist, Max. He's a young alien migrant who's trying to start a new life in Nevada and leave his turbulent home life behind. But he finds himself unemployed and homeless. Desperate, he finds work running drugs for the mob, where his circumstances begin to improve. He finds himself on a tight leash of drug-ish. I'm very good at enunciating today. It's great, guys.
Oh my god. I messed up like every other word.
His circumstances begin to improve under the dubious guidance of his boss, Isel. Eventually, Max has to make a difficult decision as his demons begin to overwhelm him, continue down the dangerous path that he's chosen, or risk destroying the life he started in the first place. What's he gonna do? He's gonna make mad decisions, boys. It's gonna be great. Yes, there is angst. I promise you, there's angst. Like, this might like look like a noir comic. Don't be fooled. It's actually 3 shonen dramas in a trench coat.
Yeah, there you go. This is what all the edgy boys want to read.
Edgy boys. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's got a lot of the only character that we really see the inside of their head is Max, which is good because Max doesn't really talk a whole lot as a character, mostly because language barrier is a thing, and English is a very difficult language for him. If it's his own language, yeah, he has a lot to say, and he will cuss you out, and everyone else. It's tough. He needs therapy. He needs therapy so bad.
Don't we all?
Yes.
Especially in this day and age.
Oh my gosh, we live in a society.
Very true.
Yeah, so I don't know. That is my pitch.
That's perfect.
This is why you should read my comic. It's got drama, it's got angst, it's got some like anime aesthetic visuals, it's got who doesn't like Nevada? We don't actually ever go to Las Vegas, we go to Reno. Feels like I'm breaking some law having a comic set in Nevada and then never go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, it's good that you do something different. Sometimes, the same old isn't always the best thing to do.
This is true. So Reno actually has a lot of interesting historical stuff. There's that one color spread that I have. It's the Max looking over the Reno skywalk. And that's on, I think it's on there. I don't know. It's one of my favorite pages. Yeah. So that area exists in reality. The Hotel Riverside is real, and the bridge that you can kind of see through the glass that Max is standing on is also real. The skywalk is not real, unfortunately, so I just inventified that, and that was fine. Is there a name for the main character's species, planet, and background? Oh yeah, Nevada is actually real. This is true. So species, yes. Planets, well, he's not from a planet. I mean, he was born on Earth, so that's exciting. He's a loser, born on Earth in some part of Canada that would be classified as, I think, British Columbia. I'll have to look at the map. Or, you know what, you guys can look at the map when you get the concept art book in the future. It's great. There's a map. Anyway, the main character's species, yes, that gets brought up a couple of different times. He's something called an Amka, affectionately called off screen as just a dumb shiny space elf, because space elves are fun too. So, but yeah, he's an Amka or a space elf. I don't really care. I call them either one. But like as far as background, there's like bits and pieces of it. It's mostly a mood motif for the rest of what's like actually like in the fore, which is like the themes of found family, and maybe don't just immediately react. Yeah, you've had a horrible life and stuff like that, but like you don't just have to react to things. You can make decisions about how you respond and what you're going to do. Your past doesn't have to shape you moving forward. Just some like fun stuff like that. It's not fun. He has a hair. It's not fun for him. But anyway, just like you don't have to be tied up entirely by your past. That's the thing. I'm making jazz hands right now, but you can't see them.
Oh yeah, it's the past might be an explanation for why you do the things you do or why you are the way you are, but it's not an excuse,
No. You don't have to stay there. And so yeah, like that's gonna be fun because for a while Max spends like a lot of time just reacting to things and like justifying his actions, and then it's like, oh fuck. The oh fuck moment happens a little later. We're not there yet. We're still, laying some nice groundwork. I love the first volume. Sets up a lot of fun stuff.
Right. This is the intro into the series, so gotta be a banger, so people are hooked. It's all part of it.
Yeah.
We've got some pretty supportive people in chat, though, saying,
yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you, guys.
Myself a copy.
Yay!
Either angst, I'm down. That's another comic creator.
Angst.
All got that angst. I mean, you gotta give people something. I have an edgy side myself, although if it's too edgy, I will make fun of it.
Oh yeah, same. Like so I have now hiring, it's my main thing, but then I also have this like really silly shapeshifter comic that I work on when it's like, okay, that's too much of that. I need to like just think about like what are small town problems that a shapeshifting stenographer might have.
I don't know if I've ever seen your shapeshifting comic.
It's not live anywhere. I just wrote the first episode and I was trying to kind of figure out some like art directions and stuff like that. It's going to be fairly episodic, like 60-page stories, kind of like how like when you pick up a volume of Tintin, everything is just, it's all self-contained. You can pick up any chapter and not worry about it.
Oh, perfect.
With like some like loose chronology, a la, I don't know, daytime TV or like Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing. But
yeah, they're definitely my favorite style. I mean, like, I love manga, of course, but it is so brutal when you buy a new volume of a manga series and nothing happens in the whole volume.
No, why would, oh, that's such a waste of paper. That makes me so sad.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why it happens, you know, primarily just because they want the series to go on for as long as possible, but it's brutal. So I do like it whenever I pick up a comic and it has its own story, like contained in that one volume or in that one book. I can read and enjoy that without like getting super caught on a chain where I have to keep on buying the next one, you know?
Yeah, and like it's not exactly along those lines, but I think Midas Flesh does that really, really well. Like there's enough meat in every volume. I have the first 3 volumes. I still need to buy the other 5. Cries. But it's so good to like have like something to like chew on until you buy the next one instead of just, where is it? There's nothing else.
Right. It's like I don't know, the guy opening up the curtain and just screaming, "There's nothing here!"
Yes. You thought you might even get an old man behind the curtain, a la, you know, the Emerald City, but guess what? There's just nothing.
Right. As an inspiring comic creator as well, I'm curious if you started illustrating your comic as you're writing the plot or after you've written the ending. That's a good question. I've heard people go either way, you know.
I have too. So I wrote the very first draft for Now Hiring completely from beginning to end in the span of a week. It was not good, but it was there. So that's something, which is better than it not being there. And then I started trying to expand it into like a standard screenplay sort of thing. And I was like actively fighting against my brain and it was bad. And then I trashed it and then I rewrote it, the whole thing again. And then I had an opening that I finally liked and I started doing some sketching for that. And then the comic changed from being from being like a 22nd century sci-fi comic to being a 1980s grunge story. And it was like, goodbye, all of this art direction stuff. You're useless now. And started trying to figure out how to do this comic in black and white because I was working like 45 hours a week in a cooler unloading produce, very physically demanding job. I didn't want to spend 5 hours of my life or more every day trying to color a comic page for like 3 people on the internet. So I switched to black and white. But anyway, I need to have an ending in mind, even if I don't have all of the middle worked out. I need to have something to work towards. Otherwise, it's just bad news. Now, I do work out my dialogue when I'm sketching things as, I know Dannphan has seen as I've sent her like bits and pieces of chapter 6, like, haha, look at this angst. But yeah, that's where I like figure out the like the fine tuning of my dialogue and my choreography and stuff like that. But yeah, I just work off of an outline and then I expand it as I need it. But I have like all of the big points in, I don't know, like a soup style outline.
Right. I used to write scripts before actually drawing up the comic, just drawing drafts in general. But the script format just it doesn't work for me. I just can't visualize what I'm writing down, and
Yeah.
then I'll forget certain details. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I end up completely rewriting it so many times. So nowadays, I just like go straight to doing drafts, and that works for me. But I know that it's the opposite can be true depending on like
Yeah.
who it is and
Yeah,
how
and
they
it
work.
like it blows my mind when people are like, "Yeah, I write a screenplay and then I can work off of that." For me, it's doing extra steps because my brain doesn't. I don't do words in my brain. I do a series of pictures. And so,
Exactly.
like, I don't want to just add extra steps and like translate to like untranslate to retranslate. It's just it adds extra steps. And since I'm not working with somebody else so much, like on the creative end, I don't have to have it make sense to anybody but me. Now, in the future, when I collaborate on some things, yeah, that's a different problem. But I'll worry about that then, and we'll communicate. And we'll communicate from there.
Right. It's so funny because when I started off Sonic City Witch, I just had
Yeah.
the script. The
Uh-huh.
script is basically being rewritten with every single issue, but it doesn't. The script itself doesn't even matter because I'm doing drafts anyway for the artist to like work off of for reference. So I should have just started with drafts to begin with.
Ah, the learning curve. Don't you love it?
Yeah, right. Another good question.
Ooh.
What were the influences for this series, like other pieces of fiction, if any?
Okay, so it's no secret I like anime. It's all over my artwork. Um, let's see. And it's not so much like direct, like I read the things before and then it's like, yeah, I want to like do a thing like this. It's more I've come across these things as I've been working on this series. Oh shoot, influence, not inspiration. Okay, so American Desperado, The Infiltrator. Now these are nonfiction. They're like kind of biographies and interviews with like people who have worked in organized crime or like with the DEA. Wolf Boys is also super super good. It's the story of from the point of view of a DEA agent talking about the boys who run drugs across the Mexico Laredo border. Laredo is like this little town way down south in Texas. And like there's so much activity that goes there, and then just like the corruption that's in the DEA and how the money from busts just goes to paying and giving bonuses to the DEA, and how it's just this like cyclical thing, and how it's so hard to get out of poverty down there. But anyway, yeah, like I get a lot more out of nonfiction than fiction personally. History and
Well, it's part
reality
of
tends
like
to
what
be weirder.
inspires stories is looking at real
Yeah.
world history.
Mm-hmm. So like it's fascinating. And then like naturally a bunch of history about like mob activity in different parts of the country, the differences between like the structure of an Italian mob and the Irish mob, and like the chaos therein, what decades was the mob like most visible, what happens with people like John Gotti versus like the more classical 1940s Gilded Age mobsters, like, and all of that, how they influence cultures and and how they entrench themselves in different communities by doing good in the name of not being kicked out. It's really interesting, fun cultural conundrum. I love that, and so I decided to add that to my story. So mostly, wow, reality's a mess. I don't understand. I want to write about it. That is the influence.
Right. Depending on the subject, I always like try to make an effort to do a good bit of research on like whatever I'm trying to cover. Like for Sonic City Witch, I was looking into like police and cyberpunk stuff, and now with the medieval fantasy stories that I'm working on, I'm looking into like medieval history and wars, and it's all good stuff, I gotta say. But
yeah, it's super super interesting, especially depending on what country in like medieval era you're in, because like India looks different than like Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, or like China, Middle Ages. It's so interesting. Like history's bonkers, and I love it.
oh yeah, they all have their own little spin on their different countries, different cultures, and everything.
Yeah. So I don't. God, I love history. It's great.
Well, I guess we can wind down for a bit. I don't know if chat has any more questions, but if you do, put them into the chat box.
Hey, we got up to 1,000.
Yay.
There's 1,000. Yay! I'm so excited. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, there we go. We've done it. We've reached one step.
Yay! 1/3. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
Perfecto. By the way, either way, it's like we'll be fine. It's a flexible goal.
Yeah, but, I saw that. I'm just like, I'm really, really happy.
I would prefer reaching the goal, but
well, me too. Like me too. If nothing else, we're like, oh yeah, well, I've got I don't know, like, well, I mean, I didn't, you did, you organized this thing. I'm just like, yay, a story, hooray.
Right.
But just like, hey, it got funded. Hell yeah.
Right.
Oh, actually, so there is a reason why it's in 1983 too, in case you wondered. Right. Okay. So 2 things were at play. Ronald Reagan was in office, and 1983 started the beginning of the war on drugs movements, which is important. Also, Pablo Escobar is alive. Put a pin in that because that comes up later.
Medically important. All this stuff.
So, yay.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Do you have predetermined endings for series, or does this series evolve as you write it?
I mean, I've already got an ending in mind and written, and it's not as edgy as it was before, so that's good.
Yeah, I do know, like, some people, they start a series with an ending in mind, but as they write it, they, like, change little bits and pieces of how exactly they get to the ending.
Yeah, that makes sense. That'll probably happen, because I have a scene in mind. I'm going to push Max out a window. Heads up, I guess. He'll be fine. I need to introduce him to another character for a later story in the works. It's going to be great.
It will be super great, super edgy.
Yeah, I love. Do you like Vinland Saga, Dannphan?
I have not seen it myself. I know my boyfriend has like the hardcover.
Oh, it's so good. I watched the anime, and then I kept waiting for season 2 to come out. And so then when that didn't happen in a timely enough manner for me, I just went and I read the whole thing in like a week. And now I'm waiting for chapters to come out, and I'm filled with sadness.
It is pretty cool to see Viking anime.
I am so happy. And then I went and like watched the Vikings show on Amazon Prime, and I was just like, this is not the same.
They messed everything up.
I was just sad instead, and I just wanted the main character to get impaled on a pole. Go away, Ragnar Lothbrok. Go away. And then he does actually die, and the series doesn't die with him, and it's like, why is this still going on?
No.
It's okay. But then they tried to replace him with his son, and it's like, Bjorn doesn't act like that. He wasn't acting like that. I'm done with my unhinged rant about Vikings now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because anime and manga, it's known for being incredibly diverse in its subject matter. But I've noticed that there are like certain subjects that are more popular to do stories about in other places as opposed to Japan, I guess. Like, there's not a lot of
Yeah.
pirate anime. There's like
No.
One Piece, end of
One
list,
Piece.
you know?
Yeah.
And unless you count space pirates, and then there's like Cowboy Bebop or something.
Yeah.
But like, there's also not a lot of Viking anime out there.
Which is a shame. Like,
Yeah, it
Viking
is a
era
shame.
is
There's a
so
lot of
cool. Like,
rich history, a lot of cool lore, a lot of things you can do with it, really.
yeah, well, like really anything to do with Baltic Sea before like 1200 is super super interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. But any good stuff you've seen lately, Spell?
I mean, it's not good, but it is interesting trash. I like to think of myself as a trash connoisseur. I
Like a raccoon.
chat's gonna come for me. I'm sure of it. Uh, so I watched American Horror Story season 5, which is like immortal vampires in a weird like 1920s hotel in Los Angeles. And the hotel, to be as edgy as possible, also has like no veil between the living and the dead, and so everyone who's died there is trapped there for all eternity too. And it's just this like big mess of edgy bad decisions, and Lady Gaga and Matt Bomer, which is Neil Caffrey in White Collar, causing chaos. And then there's some other like significantly less important main plot, which is this guy. What's his name? I don't even remember the main character's name. I don't care about him. But I don't know. It's some police
That's the
thing.
sign of a good show.
It's some police thing where it's like, oh no, we gotta catch the serial killer, and I don't know. Sarah Paulson always has a good a good performance. I primarily watch this show for Sarah Paulson, but I have to be in a mood where I want gruesome trash to want to watch American Horror Story, and I'm not usually there. But I was there for like 4 days, and so I watched all of season 5.
So is it like an ironic watch or a hate watch or a?
No, I was loving it, but now that I'm out of that mood, I'm like, yep, that's enough of that for now.
I gotcha.
It's like when you're like, man, I don't know, like you're really stressed out, and so you eat like 2 pints of chocolate ice cream. It feels great in the moment, and then afterward you're like, cool, I'm gonna feel this for the rest of next week, probably. Is how I would describe it. Like cathartic, but like harmful to the self.
There's definitely a lot of anime I've watched that definitely fits that feeling. Where it's like, I know it's not good, but I'm gonna watch it and enjoy it anyway.
Yeah. Oh shoot. I watched this trashy, generic fantasy anime recently.
There's a lot of those.
There's so many of those, and they all take place in the same weird brick town, and I hate it.
Yeah.
But
all the isekais can kind of just be blended together after a while.
This one wasn't even an isekai. It had an interesting main character powers premise where like she hugs or gets in contact with like physical contact with somebody she has a crush on, and she transforms into a dragon, which is pretty cool.
Oh.
And they actually used that to an interesting effect. The rest of the plot was lost on me. I didn't care, but that was interesting. It was like Legend of Bahamut or something like that. Like it had a really, really edgy. I don't recommend it, by the way. It was interesting.
Right. There's a lot of stuff that I've seen also where it's like the premise is interesting, but they're just not good at executing it. And that's always like the ones that break my heart the most.
Yeah, that's why like I'm no longer excited by premises, and it brings me sadness because like I have so many movies that I've started because the premise was cool and then the movie was not.
Yeah. I never take recommendations from my parents because they have such trash taste in movies. Just every single time I watch a movie they recommend, it's so awful.
I was pleasantly surprised how much I really liked the first Rambo.
Oh,
because it's written a lot more like a character drama where you spend a lot more time in John Rambo's head than just I am buff 80s man, I go mowing down people. And so it's really, really interesting, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
now,
one of Adam's favorite movies is Rambo 2008.
I haven't seen that one. Yeah, my husband and I were like, let's watch 80s trash, and then we watched Rambo, and it was like, this was not trash, but it was 80s. I like this.
Perfect.
Have you seen Demolition Man? It's a lot. It's so cheesy, but it's actually pretty good.
I don't know if I've seen Demolition Man.
It's I think is it Sylvester Stallone? It's another like 80s man. I know 80s. It's another 80s hot man like
classic, yes.
Classic thing. Is that Sylvester Stallone? I don't know. Demolition Man. I'm asking Google.
Yeah, there's a lot of like 80s action movies that I put on just sometimes to have in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, it is Stallone. The cinematography is kind of interesting in that one too. And I watched Alien for the first time recently.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh my gosh. They I love how much they let the horror breathe in that movie. It's amazing.
Right.
It lets...
you really get the feeling that they're like a bunch of space truckers, It's very reminiscent of like Cowboy Bebop or I guess more Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-hmm. Like I think that maybe that's the vibe that they were going for with Disney's Atlantis. Like where you just yep, we're just a whole bunch of mercenaries and we're stuck working together.
The characterization in that movie was so fucking
good. It is. I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, that one's good. And the second one was pretty good too. I love how they brought back the forklift operating license at the end. You never expect to be saved by being able to operate a forklift. Yeah. But lo and behold, Ripley was fine because she was forklift certified.
Aliens is a great example of like a sequel that feels so natural from the first,
Yeah, and I was so happy that they didn't take away her common sense.
Right.
Oh, I see Revzet joined. I don't know if she's still here, but hello, Revzet.
Oh, yes. She's saying Yodan and Spell. Yeah. It is us. Streaming together.
Yeah.
Yay. Keep on posting the campaign in the chat so they know where to go to support your work.
Yeah. The other great thing that like you will all get to experience after holding the book in person, if you've been reading along with the webcomic at all, is that the text is all properly centered in the balloons. And like, there's not typos, not that I could find anymore. And fuck isn't censored anymore. And a couple of things got like fixed.
Free
the fuck. This comic does in fact have some fucks to give. There's a lot of them in there.
Yeah, there you
go. And it's gonna be dangerous for the world when Max learns to swear in English. Yeah, I'm really having fun with the whole limited color thing, because, and I guess this is spoilers for volume 2, guys, but the world as we see it has a lot to do with how Max sees the world, and that changes when some other things change. It's gonna be great, guys.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
There you are.
Obvious warnings for explicit drug use, violence. There's even tits in volume 2.
Yeah, this comic is for the big boys. No tots.
Nope, only tits. And not the birds.
Yeah, there you go.
How on earth do ornithologists get away with naming birds things like drab-throated screamer or
cock and tits?
Yeah, like great tits, blue-footed booby. There's a red-footed booby too. Don't worry, there's two varieties. Or
well,
like
I guess you name them whatever like first comes to mind, and their minds are somewhere else.
Nightjar. Nightjars are wild. Have you ever seen a nightjar with an open mouth? They look so weird.
No, I haven't.
They look so weird. Like birds are fucking ridiculous.
That's kind of a cool name though. Nightjar.
Nightjar. I will just send you Nightjar. I still don't know why they're called a jar. They just have really big mouths. They look completely unassuming, but it's like the lady with like the world's largest mouth, and then she just like opens her mouth, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, because they're super, super cute when their mouths are closed, and then they just open their mouths, and there's just like
so that they can also share in this horror.
Nightjar. Love a good nightjar. Nightjar. Yeah. This is a completely normal bird, and then it opens its mouth. It looks funnier from the side. Maybe they're called nightjar because it just looks like a strange tree jar opening.
There you go.
Tree jar full of doom. Yeah.
That is very meme material right there.
It is. It's just like yeah. It looks almost like a lizard, like a strange.
Yeah, right. It kind of look like scales on its wings.
Yeah. The feathered dinosaur people are gonna go nuts over this.
Very cool though. Very cool bird. He's a bird.
Yeah, super, super cute.
Go back to now hiring.
We have a lot of a bird called a killdeer around here. It's this not very smart, loud, mostly terrestrial little bird that lays its eggs not in a tree, but just on pavements or in gravel, which unfortunately our driveway is gravel. So we ended up with a nest not far from where we put our cars. And when I went out one morning, I just like got berated by this angry mama bird, just like scream, 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 scream. And they have some of the worst calls ever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's not a very good instinct. Like your eggs on the ground.
No. Like no wonder they're endangered in this area.
Yeah, right. Come on, birds, you can fly. Figure this out.
We did manage to move things a little bit so that we wouldn't accidentally run over the nest and everybody, but just like, it's not a good place to lay your eggs. It's usually fine once the corn comes up and stuff like that, like if they lay additional nests like in fields. But yeah, driveways in front of a house, great place.
Yeah, right. Great place to get your children killed.
Yay! The babies were super, super cute though. They only stuck around for a few hours after they hatched before they like ran off. They look a lot like sandpipers. Aww. Like so imagine a sandpiper, but like angrier. And that's what a killdeer is like.
Angry.
Big angry.
Furrowed brow and everything.
Yeah. And I was pleasantly surprised to see like both parents like participating in the raising, and I was like, oh cool, I didn't know they did that.
Wow.
Oh, is there a franchise war going on?
A franchise war?
Taco Bell wins the franchise wars?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
The only wars I ever hear about are wars with the fans and whatever new piece of media came out.
Yeah, there's always a lot of that. That's why I gotta tell you, so I have logged onto Twitter more in the last 60 days than I had in the previous, 3 years.
No, I don't blame you. Twitter is pretty terrible.
It's awful. I hate it. I exist on it, but oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat's here. I have succeeded in talking enough and not paying attention to her enough. Hey. I have another volume 2 spoiler, guys. There's lots of tables. I get to draw lots of tables. So many tables.
What could the tables mean? Find out in the next volume.
And the crowd. I go from one busy scene to another busy scene. I am so upset at past me for being this ambitious.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm so lazy drawing crowds in my own stuff. I feel like I should be less lazy so that I can actually give people stuff to look at, but right now it's kind of just looking like stick figures in the background.
I mean, sometimes you gotta do.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how far away the characters are is like what you can get away with.
Yes.
If they're like too close to the actual focal point, then you probably don't want to just have a bunch of blobs. But
yeah, because that's kind of boring. But
right.
hold on, I will send it to you, and you can decide what to do with. Oh, I sent it on Discord there, but it is up to you. But that, I have a lot of scenes like that and panels like that in my future.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
All right, Pete. If you make a comic and you don't want to come up with crowd people, find your other friends who make a comic and ask them if they want cameos. Pro tip.
Yeah, there you go. Then you don't have to use your imagination to come up with a character type for every individual person in a crowd.
Nope, there are 10 different cameos in that one panel. It's great.
Yes. I mean, Oh, I got my mouse on the couch still. But there you go, guys.
Spoilers for volume 2, guys. Yeah, collectible table of pain. But yeah, there's a lot of cameos in that panel.
Yeah, I like it though. It's a good panel.
I had a lot of fun with it. I was screaming because chairs, which are like tables but more evil because there's usually multiples of them around a table.
Yeah, I mean, perspectives, there are just some that I just can't wrap my mind around. Especially, but
I am very, very thankful for perspective rulers existing. They help me a lot. Also, just drawing a starburst thing in any digital application or whatever. And then expanding it so that you can put your vanishing point somewhere after you figure out your horizon line. It's great. Also, oh, hey, have you ever done much with 4 and 5 point perspective? Like fisheye is typically a 4-point perspective.
Oh, no, not really.
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot easier to cheese. You just have to you have to know what it looks like correctly once, and then you can cheese it until you have to draw people in it, and then you just suffer a little bit because people look really weird in fisheye.
Right. In Horizon Quest, which I don't have the files for right now, but hopefully I will soon. There was this one panel that I just skipped because I couldn't figure out the perspective, but I also couldn't figure out what was wrong with the perspective. It was just beyond my brain to even fathom.
Oh, yeah. No.
I don't even know. It's like, it's a bird's eye view, and it's looking down on like building, but it's a complicated, detailed, weird building, and
R.I.P.
I don't even know.
R.I.P.
Eventually, I'll get back to it. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah,
Completely
and
exploded by the time I get my hard drive back.
oh, I hope everything comes off of that in one piece.
Oh yeah, I mean, he said last time that he had like 98% of it, so I'm overall pretty confident. So long as that other 2% isn't like all the work I've done in the past month or so, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even then, you know, it's not that much. It's just, you know, another month added on to the project timeline. But whatever.
Yeah. Like I guess it could be worse, but yeah, like hopefully it's not like a specific kind of file where it's just like, oops, all JPEGs gone now.
Oh my god. All Clip Studio files gone.
Oh, so actually word of warning. So I on my 8-year-old computer that no longer deals with like strenuous activity like opening up Clip Studio and Photoshop. When I transferred files from that computer to the one that I have now, every single one of the Clip Studio files corrupted.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It is. It is. All of the PSDs, fine. Everything like Adobe connected, fine. All of the JPEGs that I had, yeah, I know I said JPEG, don't fight me, exported in Clip Studio in particular, though, were just like super upsetty and just didn't want to open right. And I was really, really glad that I wasn't leaning on Clip Studio a lot, but I do lean on it now. And then so I'm like, I don't want to transfer the files anywhere because they might not like open right after a certain
That's
point.
so weird, though. I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Because you can save clip files as PSDs. I just don't because, you know, it's like, oh well, might as well save them as clip files.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Like I was trying to transfer all of my stuff into one program again, but like that's just not gonna happen, or at least it's not gonna happen in Clip Studio because fuck that text tool, it's horrible and I want to fight it. So I do all of my text and bubbling and stuff like that in Photoshop because I want to have control over my kerning.
Yeah. Well, you know, another tip that you can do with a Clip Studio is just like create another layer, and use all white to make the text bubbles, and then just add like a black outline.
Yeah, I mean it's easy enough to just like do a blob and then just use the stroke layer functionality in in Photoshop.
It's basically how I've been doing most of my bubbles from now on. I mean, I'm still using the whatever tool they have now on like stuff like Sonic City Witch, but overall I do like the control of just making the bubble look like however I want to make it look like, you know.
Yeah, I love that too because well, I mean I know you saw it, you've seen all of my sketches up until this point. I really like splattery looking like yelling bubbles. They bring me joy.
Yes, that is quite perfect.
It's fun. Hear the crunch of people's bones and faces. Yay.
Plus, of course, you know, it gives it that little personal touch that you don't really get with the mechanical bubble tool.
This is true. Also, I don't like perfect ovals. I don't know. I have a problem.
Yeah, I'm not a fan with perfect ovals either.
Nah, I'm probably gonna make a comic someday that uses perfect ovals, or like if I'm on a project and they're like, we like ovals here, then okay, that's fine. I don't care. But it's not my thing, so I don't care.
Right. Also, you know, important to point out, most manga artists, they're not using that Clip Studio tool.
No.
They're all making it with their hand. They're all making the bubbles by hand and making it look like whatever they want it to look like. And for the most part, I guess that tool is like used for the more casual letterers who just want it to look right. and
Yes.
don't want to, you know, aren't too fancy about lettering.
Yeah, shoot. How long had you been making comics before you realized, and maybe you just got this aha moment much earlier than I did, but how long into making comics did you realize that you need to account for speech and dialogue as a part of page composition?
I don't know, man. Looking at my super old webcomics, they're like fucking terrible with the lettering. They're like awful. But, you know, I don't even like back to my memory, I don't think about them as being terrible until I see them and I'm like, oh God.
Oh.
What have I done?
Oof.
Even now, I look at like the first issue of Ellie the Eliminator, and it doesn't look very good, the lettering. But you know, it's just one of those things you improve on as you go about it. There's entire jobs just for doing the lettering of comics.
Yes,
people are making out.
Yeah, it makes sense as to why, because it's huge and pulls the whole page together, because comics are both art and words together as friends, not enemies. But yeah, no, I was I got into comics because I wasn't like hardcore enough to do animation.
Oh no, I know that feeling.
And so I'm like, words are stupid. This is about art. And so then I drew every single stupid background and then put bubbles over it and was upsetty. And it's like, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to draw that, but I thought that it made me less of an artist to not draw everything. And these days it's more like, I don't have to draw that. Excellent. Who cares? It's gone. Speech goes here.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be super into animation myself. And it's kind of like this, it's kind of the same story. I was originally going to go to this nice school for animation, and at the end of the day, I decided to go to a community college. And once I was done the community college, I was like, you know what, maybe since I seen the direction that animation was going at the time anyways, maybe it wasn't a good idea to transfer the credits. So I was like, you know what, I'll try doing comics. I'll try going the indie route.
Nice.
See how that works for me. So far, it hasn't been that bad. I mean, it could be worse, right? But I mean, speaking of animation, so long as we're on the subject,
yeah,
Random Saga. This is one of my friends, Fresher Luke. He does animation, and he's pretty experienced in it. So this is like his campaign.
Oh,
figured I might as well pull it out.
Yeah, I've seen that background illustration floating around. Like I follow a lot of environment artists and stuff on Twitter. That's the one good thing about Twitter. But oh, that's excellent.
Oh yeah, and he's including a comic also alongside this, but it's more so about like the 10-minute animated short.
Yeah.
Which I assume he is doing most of it himself. Honestly, just like so much more patience than I have. Honestly.
Yeah, that's so cool. Shoot, do you follow what's his name right now? Hold on. Oops, that's not the button that I wanted. Technology is revolting against me.
You can't remember the name.
It's his first name is like Alexandra. He's from Montreal or something. He speaks French most of the time.
Probably don't follow them.
It's Zedig. It's thinking sounds. It is this dude. And he's making a game right now called Salt and Pepper, and it's this food themed. Like the art direction of Random Saga is just the shapes make me think a little bit of Zadig stuff in like such a good way. Like I love good like pulpy shapes.
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Hold on, let me. Does it work? Can I do that? Oh wait, there's a oh, that's interesting. Sorry, I'm like looking at all of the things on StreamYard now, and I'm like, there's a thing I can type here. Hold on. There we go. Salt and pepper. Yeah. There's super, super cool stuff. Can't wait until it eventually comes out in like 30 years. Because it's just one guy's hobby project.
It's is it late or is it just like a long time till it finishes up?
Well, I have no idea. It seems like it's just his like sideline passion project, but I love the art direction and stuff for it.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I've been having a fun time watching that come alive slowly. But I love the cool, shapely stuff that's been coming out now.
Oh yeah, for sure. There is a lot of good stuff out there, especially like indie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, there's a lot of like garbage indie stuff also, but you just gotta make sure that you find the good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, like, everything being kind of on the same level is just what happens when you have a low entry bar. But, like, I also like that it has a low entry bar because otherwise I would not have approached comics at all. And it's like, oh, I have to go through a publisher to do thing. And it's like, you don't, though.
Right,
you have to scream a lot more, but you don't, though.
All you have to do is be louder, and people will find your thing, and they'll buy it and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the power of getting a bunch of nobodies to scream together. At least a similar tune. They don't have to scream the same tune. Something be together, not the same.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. So that's why I have a lot of hope in indie comics. And it's cool. It's a whole new emerging form of literature. There's like actually degrees and stuff now about analyzing comics as a form of literature and their place in the historical record now, which is absolutely bizarre to me, but I'm very happy.
Right. I mean, I'm always so happy to see manga succeeding so much, just because it shows that there is a very large audience that wants to consume this.
Yeah.
It's the matter of reaching that audience with your own stuff, because they're so used to just consuming one type of media right now.
Yes. So, I guess
slowly inch your comic closer to them on the table.
On that note, that does kind of scare me a little bit about Webtoon and how they tend to push a certain homogenized kind of thing. Like, oh, be this specific variety of hot kind of anime. Unless you're Lore Olympus, and then you're allowed to be, like, colorful, but also the specific kind of aesthetic.
I mean, it's also part of the reason why I really got into indie comics and got inspired by, like, all these indie creators coming out, is because no matter where you go to like publish your thing, people want something specific. It's like executives want to make you tell a specific type of story. They already have an idea for you. And indie stuff is just pure passion. It's just your own ideas, your own creativity being put into something that you really believe in.
Yeah. Oh, hey, so I have a question about your thoughts on this, because I'm sure you've got some thoughts on this. So as there is rise in like the corporatization of webcomics as they are with places like Tapas and Webtoon and whatever, how do you feel about corporate entities only picking up comics after they become popular so they have more guaranteed successes? How do you feel about the ethics of that situation?
Well, the funny thing about it is that just because something's popular doesn't mean it's good.
Oh, no, that's true. But like, how do you feel about this? Popular does not mean good at all. Popular means
they either
you got picked up by you found the niche, you got picked up by an algorithm if you're like in YouTube hell. Hello, YouTube hell, for people who watch this in the future. You're in hell, congrats. Or something was actually promoted, like, and actually marketed.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, if you're louder about your comic, it gets noticed more. So sometimes people who are just like addicted to Twitter and share their comic a lot will pick up some followers. But you know how it is.
Yeah.
All that being said, sometimes it doesn't even feel like Webtoon is looking for a popular series. Sometimes it just feels like it's looking for, specific types of series. It's like weird fetish shit or something.
Yeah, this is true. An acquaintance of mine, they recently had their comic picked up by Webtoons, like as a Webtoons original, and I'm super happy for them. I don't understand the premise very much, but hey, you know what? They got picked up and they're doing their dream thing, and I'm very happy for them. It's Time and Time Again.
Time and Time Again?
Yeah, it's by Deo Design. I'm not actually sure what their Webtoon name is. They're Deo Design on Twitter though.
Okay.
It's like gay time traveling vampires.
Oh, perfect. That sounds like something that would be picked up on
Webtoon. Yeah, and like I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, good for them. Oh man, sounds like something that I would read on this channel. No, I'm sure it's very fun, and that's the point, to make it fun. Right?
Yeah, I'm always happy when I see small creators like succeeding, like especially when it's like, hey, I know you, I posted on the same forum as you 2 years ago in that stupid forum game.
Yeah, it is you.
It's you.
Right. Another thing that's kind of sad about certain webcomics is sometimes the art is super good, and you notice that it doesn't have a very strong following, but then when you go to read the comic, you understand why it doesn't have a strong following. It's because they clearly don't speak English as their first language, and it's hard to understand what is going on in the comic.
Yeah, or it's just all art and no direction.
Yeah. I understand why somebody would want to be publishing their webcomic in English, even if they don't speak it very well.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, that's where most of the market would be. But if that is the case, maybe consider finding someone who can help you with the translation.
Yeah. Or just when the lettering is done super poorly, they're using an upper and lower. They're using Arial at 11.5, and they added the bubbles later in Excel or something.
Oh god, yeah. That sounds like me.
That would be me if that would be me if I had Microsoft Office. Instead it was I'm gonna use Paint for everything. Layers, I don't know her.
Got him. All right, so I guess we'll do ending arguments, ending conclusion, why you should get Now Hiring. Go.
It's cool. It's Nevada. It's not Las Vegas.
It's not Las Vegas. Yeah, there you go.
This story will hurt your feelings.
There. Oh no. I watched a romance movie, and it wasn't really a romance. It was just kind of a bummer. And at the end of the movie, I looked at Adam and I was just like, not only do I think that movie was bad, it hurt my feelings.
Oh.
So I hope not in that way.
I mean, it'll hurt your feelings other ways. If you want to read a story that'll hurt your feelings and has anime aesthetics, and also I wrote it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's another word.
You're right, Vegas does suck. Reno is very pretty though. At least all the pictures that I have one. I have one.
Factors.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. I love that 35%. That is a very sexy 35%.
Perfect.
I have one more tangent. When I was doing a bunch of research and stuff, especially for Kyo, because she's going for her master's right now, right? Which is her master's in anthropology, and originally she was going to be studying ornithology too, which is why I know so much about stupid bird names, in case you wondered. But when I was doing research on so what do you have to do to get a master's in anthropology and this and that and the other thing, what kind of course load goes into this, along with a whole bunch of specifics about the geography of Nevada and like what the population levels were in different parts of the state, as well as like where does the lowland tortoise go in Nevada? What is its migratory pattern? So much research went into this thing. Holy shit. I kept getting real estate ads and school ads. Like, come study at University of Nevada.
Like Google is picking up your searches.
Pick up like, you can study for your master's in Nevada. Come to Reno. It's like, no.
No, stop it.
Yeah, and it was fun. Yeah, because I kept getting stuff like that, and then like, get your history degree today. And it was like, I don't want to. Go away. I need a degree I can use. But yeah, it's really interesting. And then I ended up throwing out a lot of that anyway because I moved some state borders around and decided Mexico can have California. So, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't have to deal with California or any of the more northern states if they're not there.
I wish California wasn't there.
I mean, I gave it to Mexico. So Nevada is a border state between two countries, so that's fun.
Yeah, I've quite often said we should just saw off California and just like push it into the ocean.
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't flown away on its own yet.
Yeah, right. Or burned down by now, because oh my gosh.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Fires.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm thinking of moving to SoCal. It's like, but why? Don't you like it? Don't you like living? Don't you like not paying like $40 to breathe?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I gave California to Mexico. Mexico is now like long boy.
Yeah, there you go, guys. The lore of the world.
Hey, I'm glad me giving California to Mexico is so now hiring for you. California doesn't exist in this.
California is foreign ground anyway. I agree.
I don't entirely
give it to Mexico. They fit right in.
Yeah. Let's see. There's like 37 or 38 states in this version of things. Yeah, it's a bit different.
Wonder how long before Mexico tries to give it away. Just like hot potato that state around.
Bye. Give it to Canada for 50 years. Give it to Mexico for 50 years.
Right. Oh boy.
I do like all of the produce that we end up getting from Mexico though, so it'd be sad to see it go entirely.
Yeah.
At least like to like completely disappear. I'm too much of an East Coaster and it's showing. West Coast, bye. Okay. Oh, Canada doesn't want California either.
Yeah, no, nobody wants that. No thanks, we're good.
To anyone who's actually from California, I'm sorry.
Sorry that you live there.
Yeah, I'm somewhere with less, just less. Oh, I've got some family who lives in California. Those poor souls.
Yeah. I was watching this one streamer guy, and he's in California just because of his job there, and he's like completely convinced, that he needs this job to be like worth something, but he has to do the streaming because that's where all of his real income comes from. And all I can think is, man, why don't you just move out of California and just do streaming? You'd be so much better off.
It would be a lot cheaper too. Like, so if you want to go to a really interesting state that's not California, go to Idaho. I know it's Idaho. Just ignore the memes, potatoes, haha, yay. But there's a lot of really, really interesting archaeological stuff in Idaho. And the rock formations are really fascinating.
Oh,
so if you like archaeology and you like history and you don't like California, but you like potatoes, go to Idaho. I'm biased. I like potatoes.
California doesn't want North California either.
I
don't even know what the like map of California really looks like, which parts are like the worst of the worst, but you know.
I know SoCal is closer to like Tahoe and stuff. I have someone in my family unironically loves Burning Man and has gone to like 4 or 5 Burning Man conventions.
Wow.
There's like, whoa. It is. He's very strange whenever he shows up to family functions, like once in a blue moon. Like once every 5 years, whether he needs to or not.
Yeah, no, we all have that family member. I had an uncle that like came to a family event talking about shrooms he was growing. So,
oh boy,
you know,
everybody's.
He's now deserving of the title Weird Uncle.
Yeah, he grew into that title.
Yeah.
Sold on Idaho. There we go. I should give real estate advice, Dannphan. I missed my calling.
All Idaho. There we go.
Yes, you're right. The potato state is cool. I like Idaho. Pretty nifty.
Yeah, there you go. Oh.
I don't remember what this tangent was attached to. Oh yeah, I think I don't know. It's gone. I'm not caffeinated enough for this.
Ending arguments. Why should they back Now Hiring Volume 1?
Not California. It is edgy. It is anime-ish. It's 3 shonen dramas in a trench coat pretending to be a noir.
Yeah, there you
go. It has an emotionally available protagonist who does not look the same at the start of the story to the end of the story, not just physically. Also, found family. Do you like found family? I like found family.
That's my favorite trope.
It is my favorite trope too. Like it's grown on me so much. I like it better than enemies to lovers. Really, like it's really hard to sell me on a. It's hard to sell me on a romance anyway. Usually, if there's like romance in the title, I just like it just turns me away immediately.
Oh yeah, that's the complete opposite.
I'm just like, ew, romance, get it out of my face.
You know, the biggest problem I've had running into being like a romance lover, the biggest problem that you have is like having way too much trash romance out there. Like all this cheating drama and giant orgy stuff. And it's like, God damn it. I just want a happy marriage. Please.
Like there are a few of them out there, and there are some romances that I genuinely think are really interesting. It's not anime. And it's also not even animated, which is even more shocking that I actually liked it. But I really liked the new version of Emma. The characterization is very good.
Is Emma like a webcomic or?
Oh no! It's a movie. So if you want to spend, it's a good way to spend like an hour and 27 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Also, the cinematography is not horrible either.
Needless to say, Now Hiring is not where to go if you're looking for romance.
No, it works almost exclusively in toxic, bad relationships. There are good ones, but none of them are romance. There is technically... Actually, no, there's no romance in this. There's no romance in Now Hiring. So if you, like me, are a romance... or... I'm not going to say hater outright because I do like a romance one. Like I find one that's not like hot garbage. But yeah, this ain't it. No romance. There is no romance. Only friendship. And
only the power of friendship here.
The power of friendship and manipulative abuse tactics. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
what
go.
A combination. Oh yeah, Emma like the Jane Austen Emma. I see you, Genoro. JC in the chat there.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, Jane Austen Emma. Do watch. Highly recommend. So yeah, if you don't like romance and you like angst, you will like this. Probably, especially if you like city drama.
Yes, and if you like crime drama and stuff like that, and aliens in a human world.
And main characters making bad decisions.
Yes.
If you like to see the main character make questionable decisions, if you like a good corruption arc.
Morally ambiguous.
Yes. Then this is the thing for you.
It's like Shadow the Hedgehog, ambivalent to both good and evil.
Gotta survive first, gotta cover your Maslow's bases. Cover your Maslow pyramid, and then you can do other things.
All right. So we're going to close up the stream for now, but thank you everyone for joining us in chats, and thank you Spell for coming on again.
Thank you, Dannphan, for having me. Yay! Go buy my book, then you can hold it. It's Dan, it is over 140 pages. There's technically 145 pages of comic. Oh no, 145 pages more comic. Oh no.
More to read. How terrible.
Reading a comic? Ridiculous.
And it's all done, guys. So really, you're just funding it getting printed and getting to you.
Yes.
That's the best part. People don't have to wait super long to get it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. So, yay. Thank you, Dan.
Yes. And thank you, everyone, for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.